Hello everyone, it's Ms. Redmond here. Welcome to your fifth and final lesson in the light topic. This one is called What is Colour? It's all about colour. If you haven't got one already, please go and grab a pen and a piece of paper so you can take notes and do any little tasks that I give you as you go along. Here are your success criteria, so feel free to pause the video now and write those down. Okay, so the primary colours of light are actually red, green and blue, and that's to do with the way that your eyes see light. So we've got these cells that I mentioned in the last PowerPoint called rods and cones. Rods detect the level of light and cones detect colours of light. And you've got three types of cones: red cones, green cones and blue cones. And you detect all of the other wavelengths of light by combinations of red, blue and green. So red, blue and green are the primary colours of light, and then the secondary colours of light happen when you mix those primaries together. So red and green make yellow. You can see it here on this Venn diagram. Blue and red together make magenta, and blue and green together make cyan. So that's how light works. But another type of primary colour is a pigment or paint primary colours, because this is what happens when you add them together, and this is what happens when you take them away. So these are called subtractive primary colours. And we've got almost the opposite. So magenta, yellow and cyan are the primary colours of pigment. So if you've ever had to get new colour ink cartridges, you'll notice that they're called CMYK. That's for cyan, C for cyan, M for magenta, Y for yellow and K for black. I don't know why. Okay. So that's why they have those letters, because those are actually the primary colours of paint. Now in art, you might have used the primary colours of blue, red and yellow, and that's fine, but they're not actually pure colours. What's actually happening is you're using a blue that's more like cyan and you're using a red that's more like magenta, and then when you mix them together you get these different secondary colours. So obviously when you mix red and yellow paint you'll get orange, and red and blue will give you purple, and then blue and yellow will give you green. But these are the official ones. So the reason that happens is that paint doesn't have the exact correct colours. So you get weird sort of mixing effects, and also sometimes you get chemical reactions between the different colours of paint. The other thing that you need to know about is if you mix all three colours of light, you get white. And if you mix all three colours of paint or pigment, you get black. But more often with paint you get horrible brown colour, because as I said, the colours aren't very sort of precise. Alright, feel free to pause the video and copy that down. Alright, so in a prism, what happens is the light splits into different colours, and this is because of refraction and because of the shape of the prism, and also because different colours of light refract different amounts. So in maths you might be familiar with the word prism, and it just means a three-dimensional solid that has the same cross-section all the way through. But in science, generally when we're talking about a prism we mean a triangular prism like this. Okay, so this is what happens. Red has the longest wavelength and the lowest energy, so it refracts the least, and then blue has the shortest wavelength and the highest energy, so it refracts the most. But all you really need to know is that a prism separates out the different colours of light, and that each wavelength is seen as a different colour. And that's what's happening in a rainbow. So this optical effect is actually caused by light being refracted by water droplets in the air. And there's a little diagram of that happening. Alright, so seeing colours. To see a coloured object, that colour of light must be available to be reflected from the object. All of the other colours of light are absorbed. So if we're looking at a red t-shirt, we've got white light shining on it, so all of the different colours, but that red t-shirt is absorbing the orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet and reflecting the red. So it's the red that's bouncing off and hitting your eye. And likewise with the shorts, the blue colour of the shorts is reflecting all of the other colours and, is absorbing all of the other colours and reflecting the blue into your eye, and that's why you can see the blue. Alright, so seeing black and white, something appears black when all of the colours of light are absorbed, and something appears white when all of the colours of light are reflected. This is showing you the same thing, so the white object is reflecting all the light, the black object is absorbing all the light, and this transparent object is transmitting light. So that's a callback to our first lesson about properties of materials. Right, these are filters of light. So we've got a red filter on the left, that's allowing just the red light to pass through. The green filter is allowing just the green light to pass through, and the blue one is allowing just the blue light to pass through. And it works sort of like a sieve. So the other colours are trapped, or better to say they're absorbed, and the colour of the filter is allowed to pass through. Okay, here's our summary slide. So a prism is a transparent object that can split light into a spectrum. A spectrum is the arrangement of different colours of light by wavelength. Continuous is something where there are no gaps. Frequency is a number of waves which pass a point every second, and it's measured in hertz. The symbol for that is Hz. The primary colours of light are red, green and blue. They're the colours that your eye detects. They're the colours of those cone cells. The secondary colours of light are cyan, yellow and magenta. They're the colours that you get when you mix two primary colours of light. White light's a mixture of all three primary colours, and a filter is a transparent material that only transmits certain colours or wavelengths of light. Thank you very much for listening. That is the end of the light topic.